It's time now for Real Estate Update. With Usha Chandra of Globenet Realty, real estate is our world.
Now we're standing here face to face, afraid to move.
And welcome to the show once again, Usha. It is wonderful to have you on the show.
Thank you so much for having me on the show, Umesh, and Australian Indian Radio.
Well, it is again interesting times in real estate, as we know. Lots happening still out there. We have lots of uncertainty when it comes to the restrictions and what's happening out there, but still it does not stop people from getting into the properties. Properties needs to be sold. People are in the market to buy the properties, probably more so now that they're not spending so much on traveling and other things like that they can probably invest in properties. I think that might be a good thing. But looking at all the things that's happening, let's look at our weekly report. And once again, wonderful to have you back on the show and with all the reports that you bring every week. Well, right now, as we know, every time we begin with the capital city auction. So what's been happening in all the capital cities?
Yes, let's have a quick look at the capital city auction results. Sydney was pretty steady in clearance rate. 82.9% was the clearance rate in Sydney. 562 properties were taken to auction and 411 were sold under the hammer. Compared to last year, there was only 61.9% and 668 properties sold under the hammer last year. Melbourne, 63%. Melbourne is pretty down at the moment. 954 properties were taken to auction and only 458 properties sold under the hammer. Compared to last year, it's a little bit better than last year. Last year was 53.7% was the clearance rate. Brisbane market is pretty steady there. 74.5% was the clearance rate. There was about 163 properties taken to auction and 94 sold under the hammer. Compared to last year, it was only 32%. Adelaide, 84.8%. Adelaide market is pretty steady. It's holding off the prices and the clearance rate is pretty good there. And there was 139 properties taken to auction and 98 sold under the hammer. Perth was 70%, so Perth market is a little bit down. 16 properties were taken to auction and 7 sold under the hammer. Compared to last year was 38.9% clearance rate. Tasmania was not applicable. There was no auctions in Tasmania. Canberra, 81.9%. Canberra market is gone a little bit down. 84 properties were taken to auction and 59 sold under the hammer. So let's have a quick look at the major capital cities as auction results. 72.3% was the clearance rate, and the total number of properties were taken. 1,918 properties were taken to auction, and there was only about 1,107 were sold under the hammer. So the clearance rate was pretty average compared to the previous week's results.
So looking at those numbers there, when we still look at Melbourne, as you mentioned, 954 auctions, so that's a lot.
It is, yeah.
When you look at the total number being 1,918, and out of that 954 were Melbourne itself. So what does that say about that market there?
The results are there, but they used to have a lot more properties selling, and because of COVID situation and the prices they're getting lower, the average clearance rate has gone a little bit up, but compared to Canberra and Sydney, it's fairly down.
Right, now let's move on and let's look at what it means in terms of property values. So what have been the home value changes in that segment based upon all those results?
Yes, let's have a quick look at the weekly change. Sydney market, only 0.5% was the weekly change, but the 12-month change was 19.8%. Canberra was 0.2% the weekly change, and the 12-month change was 11.3%. Brisbane was 0.4% was the weekly change, and 17.1% was the 12-month change. Adelaide was 0.5% change, and 16.5% was the 12-month change. Perth was no change at all, and the 12-month change was 11.4%. So the combined 5 capital cities, the weekly change was only 0.4%, whereas the 12-month change was 16.2% was the combined capital city value changes. So still, I mean, the results are still pretty good.
Yes.
So looking at
that result there, looking at that result there, when you look at the capital value changes, year to date is 14.8 and the 12 month is 16.2. So in between that is about 15%. So 15% growth there is quite good under the current circumstances, don't you think?
Exceptional growth, yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's a good market. I mean, people. I mean, apart from Melbourne, everywhere else is doing very well, actually. Yeah.
Yes, okay, so let's see what that relates to in terms of listings. As we know that we always talk about that, the market or a real estate agency is only as good as the number of listings. You can't sell something that you don't have. So with looking at all those results which we have just seen, what are the number of listings on the market at this point in time?
I mean, there's amazing results in listings. Actually, in Melbourne, there's 5,197 new properties have come on the market compared to Sydney. Sydney's 4,730 new properties, and still in the 12-month change is minus 20% in Sydney and 50.1% increase in the Melbourne market. So, looking at that, the 12-month change, Sydney is still minus 27.1%. And Melbourne is in plus 1.4%. Brisbane, 3,754 new properties were on the market. The total number of listings in Brisbane to date is 14,144, minus 28.9%. So almost minus 29% down in listings. Adelaide is 1,392 properties came on the market, and 4,711 is the year to date, minus 26.5% over there. Perth is 3,560 properties. Year to date is 14,159 and minus 14.7%. Hobart is 241 new properties. Year to date is total 597. So they're struggling in listings. That's why their price is not down at all, but they are minus 37.2%. Darwin is 185 new properties came on the market in the last week, and 774 new total listings year to date, and still minus 10.4%. Canberra is 604 new listings. Canberra has got more listings this time compared to the last week's, and 1,514 new year to date listings, still minus 25.8%. So let's have a quick look at the combined capital cities in listing wise. 19,663 properties were listed last week, and total number of listings year to date is 75,425 and still minus 18.1%.
Well, looking at those listings, as you have rightfully mentioned, look at Melbourne. Everyone is in minus. The biggest minus is Hobart at minus 37.2 and Melbourne at plus 1.4. So you can actually see what's actually happening there. So regardless of what people say, that people only sell when they have to, but whatever's happened in Melbourne has caused that, and it is resulted in this graph. So you can't argue with facts and figures. So these are the figures there. So it paints quite a true picture. But as you can see, the one completely standing out of the all capitals is Melbourne.
Exactly.
Real estate and media services business Domain Holdings has announced a net profit of $34.3 million, a rise of 50% on last year. The company, which is majority owned by Nine Entertainment, has declared a dividend of 4 cents per share and confirmed it will repay the $5.7 million in JobKeeper payments it received in 2021. CEO Jason Pellegrino says the core listings residential business has had a great bounce back after 2 difficult years.
It's been a really pleasing result. Overall, our net profit is up 66% year on year, which is sort of vindication of the strategies we've put in place to deliver on the opportunities in front of us, as well as set this business up for the future through investment. Our core listings residential business grew above market rates and is a great bounce back after 2 years of incredibly challenging performance. Our commercial and developer business has also returned to growth in the second half, and our media business has grown ahead of market. So finally, our agent solutions business, which provides services into agents, and our property data solutions, which provides a series of data insights and tools and services to a range of stakeholders across the market, also experienced growth. But overall, a really, really pleasing result.
Jason Domain has made the decision to pay back JobKeeper. Why is that, and how will that impact?
If you look at Melbourne, we know why it's gone. The market is it is because of the COVID, and they had over 200 days of lockdown. So the results are there because of the lockdown situation in Melbourne so many times. Poor people are struggling there. And still, I mean, it's an affordable place to buy, so investors or homeowners can capitalize on the market over there.
It might be a good time to It might be a good time to be investing there. Well, right now, moving on, so we've looked at the auctions, we've looked at the listings. So the other part is, as we always know, and you have mentioned in the last episodes, that there are many people who still like the normal private treaty kind of sale. So what's been happening in that scenario, in that field? So some facts and figures on private treaty sales, please.
Yes, a lot of mum and dads, they don't want to buy at auction, so a lot of people are still doing private treaty. Sydney market number of sales was 1,694 and median price is 950. It has been very steady for the last 4 or 5 weeks. And looking at Melbourne market, 1,591 number of sales, 710 the median price. So Melbourne market is still fairly down compared to Sydney and Canberra. Brisbane market is gone a little bit up from 555 to 559, 500. 1,195 private treaties happened, and the median price is 559, 500. Adelaide is 583 properties, and their median price is 518. It's gone a little bit down by $2,000 there. Perth is 989 properties sold under the HEMA, on private treaty, and 510 is their median price. Their median price is quite steady. Hobart, 143 properties. Hobart price is quite high actually. 658,000 is their median price. Darwin is 35 properties. 585 is their median price. It's pretty steady there. Now look at Canberra. Canberra is 37 properties only sold compared to Sydney, 1,694 properties, and the median price is same as Sydney.
Oh, wow.
950,000 is Canberra price, 950,000 is Sydney price. So let's have a quick look at the apartments and units. In Sydney, there was 1,190 apartments sold, and their price is quite high. 709,250 is their median price for apartments. 804 was Melbourne, and 556 is Melbourne price. Melbourne price is pretty down there in apartments as well. Brisbane is pretty steady. 359 properties were sold under private treaty, and 420 is their median price, and it's gone a little bit up, around 5,000 in their median price. As we discussed last week, that Brisbane market, the inner city apartments will be fetching more higher prices now due to the Olympic Games coming, so people are gearing up now. Adelaide is 193 properties were sold in apartments. 345 is their median price. Perth is the same, actually 337, and median price is 419,500. Hobart is 35 properties, 501. 111 is their median price. Their median price is pretty steady there. Darwin is 17 properties under the hammer, private treaty sold, and that's 355. Darwin is the place to buy apartments at the moment. Canberra is 115 apartments sold, 481,000 is their median price. If you look at the houses and the apartments in Canberra, it's basically 50%.
Right, and looking at Canberra, as you mentioned before, that is quite amazing that in the house prices, it's the same as the median price is same as Sydney.
Exactly.
The only difference is in Sydney there were 1,694 sales, so that means that Sydney market is quite vibrant, and of course there's a lot of sales happening there, and that's and even then it's maintained at 950. Well, in term, if you look at Canberra, only 37, so that means there's less properties and people are paying top dollars.
Exactly, yeah.
So okay, so moving on, that is quite interesting, the chart this week, looking at all that. So okay, so very quickly, looking at all the properties, and of course it's gauged by what's happening in the market. So what does it relate to on the number of days the properties are on the market, and are vendors discounting any prices?
Yes, the vendors are giving very less discount. In Sydney, it's been 31 days on the market. Vendor discount is minus 2.1%. And Melbourne is 35 days, minus 2.4% is their vendor discount. As we can see, a lot of people are not giving discounts in Melbourne, not too much discounts there, though the market is quite down there. Brisbane is 37 days, minus 2.7% is vendor discount. Adelaide is 36 days, minus 3.6%. Perth is 39 days, minus 2.5%. Hobart is 21 days, not applicable at all. Darwin is 42 days, minus 2%. Canberra is 35 days, there's no discount in Canberra at all. If you want to buy it, pay the price, otherwise just go away. Let's have a quick look at the median in apartments and townhouses. And 42 days has been in Sydney, 42 days on the market, minus 2.4%. 47 days in Melbourne, minus 2%. Brisbane is 49 days. So Brisbane and Melbourne, apartment sales are not that high, and minus 2.3%. Adelaide is 42 days, minus 1.7%. Perth is 45 days, minus 3.1, sorry. And Hobart is 26 days, not applicable. There is no discount in Hobart, neither in houses nor in apartments. Looking at Darwin is 42 days, not applicable there either. And let's have a quick look at Canberra. 39 days, minus 2.2%. So Canberra apartments, they are giving a lot of discounts, whereas compared to houses, there's no discount.
Right. So that's a very good snapshot of all the scenarios, looking at those facts and figures there. And when we look at that last slide, and when we talk about the differences in prices, and then we looked at the number of days, the highest discount is in Perth at minus 3.1.
Yeah.
Then Sydney comes at 2.4, and of course Brisbane 2.3. So on par around. Where the agents are listing their houses and to where they're selling, and what vendors are discounting, it's about 2 to 3%. Highest the 3, and there, so around 2.5 is what I'd say. So that is not bad. I mean, that's a pretty good listing rate, and appraisals must be done, pretty close to the mark. So that is not too bad. You're not seeing big, huge differences in the listing and the sales price. So that's very good. Okay, right now in the conclusion part, let's take a look at your agency and your area. So what's the update from your side, sales and listings and open houses that you might like to talk about?
Yes, we have got a few new listings coming up on the market. We have got one at Wallace Street in Chermside. It's apartment 2 bedrooms, It's got huge balcony facing the north, and it's 2 bedrooms, 2 double bedrooms with fully air conditioned, beautiful huge kitchen with 1 car accommodation. It's approximately 6-7 years old. That's on the market for offers over $499. It's walking distance to shopping centers, all amenities. So that's open house this Saturday at 11 to 11:30. We have got a couple of other properties which we were going to plan to auction, but they have already gone under contract. We sold the one that we did open house last Saturday at Bray Park. That's already sold, and it's now building and pest has happened, so that one is hopefully it will become unconditional very soon. We are listing a couple of properties this week, so we'll talk about it next week about these new listings. At the moment we are very shortage of listings. We have sold all of our listings. Some of them have lasted less than 24 hours, so we are looking for more listings. If anybody is thinking of having an appraisal done, please give me a call, and one of our team members on 3865-4466 or 0419-775-416. Let's have a quick look at our rental section. Vicky has rented 4 properties that was all on the market last week. They're all gone now, and 2 of them have gone for more than the listed price, so she's extremely busy. And we have got 1 new property in rentals coming up in Brisbane Downs for $640 per week. It's fully air conditioned, fairly modern, 2 years old house, so that's coming on the market hopefully by the end of the week. And so that's the results. I mean, we are extremely busy. We have got a couple of house and land packages coming, so if anybody is looking at house and land packages, we have got some of them coming in Griffin and in Tigum in the near future. So if anybody is looking to buy house and land packages, please give us a call as well.
So, ladies and gentlemen, once again, that has been the weekly real estate update with Usha Chandra of Globenet Realty. Usha, once again, thank you so much for being on the show, and with those all the facts and figures, it's getting very interesting. Looking at those weekly graphs, I think that's a very good indication of the market. And looking at the chart, we can always follow what's actually happening. You can see the trends forming there as well.
Yes, thank you so much for having me on the show, and have a great day.
Thank you so much, and until next time, it's goodbye from us.
Globenet Realty. Globenet Realty has been the longest established, trusted and respected agency in its trade area. Usha Chandra, Director of Globenet Realty, provides honest and ethical service to her customers. If you are thinking of investing in Brisbane real estate market, or if you are seeking professional property management, then you should contact Usha Chandra today on landline 3865 4466 or mobile 0419 775 416. And for further updates, log on to our website www.globenetralty.com.au. Globenet Realty is your own local real estate agency. Situated at Shop 52281 Sandgate Road, Boondall. Globenet Realty. Real estate is our world.